protocol direct developments and inevitable coming down into PhD, and 1, committed hypersonic weapons became evident with companies possibly requiring operational hypersonic weapons by 2022, and 2, school CPDS is unusable because of nuclear war due to war and ambiguity of its PhD-17. 3, would be detected, this cannot be certain if the missile and nuclear missiles risk ambiguity triggering nuclear strike cooperation will not be enough to officials warn CPDS will decrease the threshold for missile use, and 3, Google US global priority is key to stop every existential risk for general defense that doesn't assume nuclear attack and tactics, EW and PhD, rough L18. Global terrorists, the U.S. must help favorable balances of power to deter aggression, provide peace, defense, and security, deter aggression, preserve stability, prevent world wars, avoid global depression, China and Russia are destabilizing regional challenges, are expanding ambitions, no go, made a new Iran, utilize terrorism, proxy forces, U.S. threat from ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and affiliates, the spread of WMD, increasing as deterrence or something perception that U.S. can defeat military challenges as that phase of war becomes likely or possibility of nuclear strikes. And 4, I2PS is key to counter revisionist anti-access area did not A2AD and boost American credibility, only eliminating ICBM cells with pain PhD and AL12, pain PhD AL12. Adversaries are creating gaps in U.S. forces focus adversaries on A2AD to raise U.S. ability to destroy critical targets. CPS has been for to fill the gap of weaknesses of missiles that these carry next to CPS strengthens deterrence and security. And 5, fairly counter A2AD green lights adversary revisionism to undermine U.S. security. Alliances rescue U.S. attention cost degree power Mitchell 16. Revisionist powers on move rivals and modernizing forces of threatening allies. Their goal is to rearrange global security, and the revisionists have become bolder allies who to pursue self-reach from arms politicians with revisionist power. The U.S. could be converted with a great power war against 3 nuclear armed competitors without attack over match. Historically, a series of companies in military confrontation, both US and China present A2 capabilities through presence that US is able to shape global policies and avoid mortal threats without presence as the rivals agonize US influence. I2D makes reentry impossible. Condition 2 is ICBMs. First, ICBMs make accidental for inevitable eliminating themselves and constitute to conventional SLBMs which frees up billions of dollars will set everyone willing to exceed. ICBMs are relatively cold war. The Minutemen can only hit Russia. They have no overfly missions with logic counterattack. The US SLBMs are invisible. ICBM can be seen by Russians that are vulnerable. SLBMs guarantees extra immense pressure could cause nuclear war. So it's very simple. It's a DoD 1,000 false alarms. The ICBMs did nothing to deter 9/11. The mission is easily handled by subs and bombers. And 2, only ICBMs can cause accidents. Vulture MSC-17. The ICBM is most likely to cause accidental nuclear war. Possibilities can arise from human error. Malfunction satellites are hacking. ICBMs cannot be recalled. Critics recommend relying on SLBMs and bombers. Bombers can be recalled. Stops can be stationed closer to the target station. No danger they could be knocked off. Trump can launch nuclear codes easily seeking into it. 3, ICBMs created that as a preemptive nuclear strike. The U.S. was 90 PhD. ICBMs are redundant for deterring the vulnerability risk millions. They attract a preemptive attack that will escalate to nuclear level. Countermeasures could accelerate attack arms increases the chance of nuke use. Contingent 3 is arms race. First, ICBMs are the reason Russia is modernizing its nuclear, eliminating credit reductions. Arsenal size clean 16. Cutting ICBMs to run into nuclear arms race with Russia. ICBMs is increasing pressure on Moscow to rebuild its forces. And 2, the plan makes Russia abandon the arms race by PhD AL18. Or hadronic can be accomplished the elimination of the ICBM striking U.S. targets with full Russian justification for deploying rockets. Russia would have reason to curb production and deployment prices important stable. On 3, U.S. Russia arms race cascades cause nuclear war, but MA almost 18. Russia believes the Soviet Union as well. The U.S. is in early stage of modernization. This is really a new dangerous dynamic. Could threaten security may be locked into a cycle of arctic instability, leaving them both vulnerable to nuclear accident and risk up. And 4, even a limited nuclear war cause extinction. Best science group 17. Scientists argue that the biggest killer of all is likely to be a nuclear winter. The Earth can be subjected to prolonged darkness, abnormally low temperatures, windstorms, smog, and radioactive fallout. The extinction is a possibility. How large nuclear release is required is subject to debate. But improved models of climate science suggest as few as 50 Hiroshima sites above the limited nuclear war is highly unlikely. A billion people living on the margins of hunger would have perished within weeks, and billions more over the months. 8 nations have the tool to determine the misuse on their own. U.S.-Russia tensions and impact that collapses the global order makes war inevitable. Arkadoff PhD 18. This integration of states, mass migration, and terrorism, political fighting against these transfer parties, union, Russia, tensions between Russia and the U.S., prevail over cooperation, tensions leading to an arms race, because global wars, drawing against econ collapse and fights. Contingent for a solvency plan, the United States ought to eliminate the nuclear arsenals of intercontinental ballistic missiles. And 1, ICBMs, eliminating ICBMs is the key to 21st century deterrence strategy that shifts from nuclear diet. CBGS and increased conventional forward presence that solves nuclear war for revisionists for life and boosts the credibility of American deterrence, title of PhD 18. The tribe was born in the Cold War. Strategy represents speculation, change more than politics and psychology and science. So ICBMs are only reliable against Russia. The U.S. must consider all nuclear conventional capabilities are key to deterrence in the 21st century. The most rapid things that need for mixing new conventional force more states will acquire names. We cannot count on the FPD to prevent prolific conventional is the only way to prevent non-nuclear direction by a nuclear state. CBGS can strike anywhere less than hours, which would curtail regional exchanges without escalating cancellation of ICBMs without a subsidiary. A more conventionalistic counter-perception, the U.S. may not be willing to retaliate. Credibility is key to deterrence. CBGS can fill gap. And 2, only many ICBMs can prevent prolific accidents. Russia, China, nuclear aggression, nuclear terror, improves the U.S. prestige and credibility. 400 billion state results every accidental grab dual PhD 16. Plan modernization be used for nuclear force to raise the security elements of arms war that would destroy everything the US keeps providing, and the nukes cannot remain the foundation of security. Indefinitely use for any emotional nuclear would undercut America's influence in world alliances. Modernization undermines non-foreign policy. Other states believe the MET, where the big of it opportunities and progress in danger of coming to a halt. The mission would limit the chance of cyber attack. Opportunity elimination opposite the force structure that eliminates stability. Only requires that nukes that are able to survive in the attempt to destroy them. Modernization undermines stability. Option 2 with using 432 billion and demonstrates not Washington's intent to delegate Russia deterrent the retirement would remove Russia considered as land because can be destroyed. Option 2 and 3 also decrease the risk of nuclear terror. Option 1 signal desired leadership evolution. And 3 eliminating nuclear warheads on ICBMs ensures PGS events but with 3G15. Practical effectiveness will depend on capabilities of the V2 of the triad. ICBMs would provide important capability for freedom with non-nuclear warheads. The conversion will go well beyond unlimited capability. It has a strategic extended deterrence. And 4 the plan shows the US deterrence only strategy against civilians and prevents accidental nuclear war. All other measures fall short. Slate MA Harm 19. Global Zero shifts nuclear strategy from planning to war to deterrence only strategies because they have over 100 billion used to improve global nuclear control systems. The issue of commitment the US would need to move ICBMs out not only see silo targets and send it to the use before the nuclear PFVs and any military values that way by risk by accident miscover false warning.
Give me a second. My timer is like broken. The clear button doesn't work. So. Alright, you good?
Yeah.
Alright. So, you said that the plan shifts like gets rid of US hedge, right?
The plan increases US.
How so?
Because it shifts to CPGS, which solves A280.
What is A280?
A280 is like anti-access area denial. For example, like if China was having a conflict with Japan, China could use this to stop the US from interfering on behalf of Japan.
Okay, so it gets rid of A280?
Yeah.
What's the warrant for that?
The Payne PhD IL-12 card talks about how.
But what's the warrant behind it? Like, I understand the card is there, but what's the warrant behind the card?
So basically, CPGS is very fast and it's able to strike quickly, like either before they set up A280 or like it's able to strike the A280 units. Yes.
That's fine. So, are ICBMs the unique reason that Russia modernizes? Do no other US weapons lead to Russian modernization of nukes?
Sorry?
Are ICBMs the linchpin of Russian arms racing?
The evidence would indicate it, yes.
Why?
Because right now, like for example, 2016, Russia is modernizing because they see that the US is modernizing, so they want to like keep the upper.
So if the US modernizes for other things besides ICBMs, doesn't that mean that conversely Russia would modernize too?
Well, no, because ICBMs are like ICBMs are threatening to Russia for several reasons. The first being that they can only target Russia, so if they see it as like a direct threat.
Why would ICBMs only target Russia?
So the Wilson MA and William 16 card talks about this. It's like a Cold War strategy, and they can, like to strike anywhere else, they would either have to overfly Russia or like they are being launched.
Alright, that's fine. What's the likelihood that CPGS is actually launched?
Sorry?
How likely is it that someone actually uses CPGS?
It's like not relevant to the case, but we could use it to counter AT&T.
That's fine. Why is countering A280 good?
Because we can intervene on behalf of our allies, and it solves US hedge because presence is keeping hedge.
Is US hedge low now?
The Edom PhD or 18 card talks about how there's a lot of threats to US hedge as well.
But is the US not the sole hegemon right now?
Like we would argue that there's many threats to hegemony as well.
But is the US a hegemon?
Well, yes, but it's losing.
Okay, so they are a hegemon. That's fine. Why would the US be in a deterrence-only strategy?
Basically ICBMs don't do a lot for deterrence, so eliminating them solves for deterrence strategy.
Alright. And then for your third point on solvency, is it only eliminating nuclear warheads or eliminating all ICBMs? What's the plan?
The plan is to eliminate nuclear ICBMs.
Okay. Sending the document. It's 5 pages. As soon as I figure out where to put the doc. Okay. It's sent. Everyone good?
Yeah, but I haven't like pulled it up. Okay, cool.
Enter the atmosphere that states limit the entirety of the nuclear arsenals, one eliminating zero, the removal of this recorded Minnesota 10. The word eliminates subject to only one reasonable interpretation, complete elimination, the word eliminated is a complete removal of subject, complete is a repetitive second grammar, it's a generic verb for only one T. Authority in regimes is a verb for without explicit determination, express generic generalizations. Authority in regimes is not existential, fails the upper entail and test the resolution of the U.S. ought not provide aid to governments, even though all authoritarian regimes are governments affirmative advocacy and spec. Regimes do not affirm the resolution because generic generalizations are not until by specific instances. It applies to this topic. The resolution doesn't entail the states ought to eliminate their arsenals, even though all nuclear arsenals are arsenals because states might want to keep otherwise, which means it fails the upper entailment has violation of the event, eliminating ICBMs as a modification of modifications allows Supreme Court over 2000. If the General Assembly meant to modify or not use the word eliminate, vote night one limits they can defend anything from packing to submarines to ICBMs or cruise missiles and explodes. Night grab the core controversy is relative to eliminate nuclear arsenals, not modify them. So first, them to defend why all nukes are bad news. After we'll have escalation answers versus picks and negatives, get core deterrence ground. Second, top portion of the app solves the answer an advantage to the whole rest after them to prevent new frameworks mechanisms or advantages. Picks don't solve to say that net potential abuse just like the app being flat out not too much to a race towards abuse. D point voter. Drop the debater 8 point for 76 rebuttal advantage in the two area make arguments they can respond to B point that says future abuse and that's a positive norm is competing in terms of point reasonability and right arbitrary judgment mentioned since we don't even know your BS made a B point reasonability collapses in competing in terms since you justify two bright lines of what is reasonable and no RBI even a logical issue with her being for its limit substituting the substance B point norming I can't see the counter term if I knew I'm wrong which was an argument for bad norm second off. ICBMs are key to assurance and deterrence case Williams 17. ICBM are essential for assuring allies the environment is increasingly complex, subject to surprise, adversation, bringing capabilities, modernization, plans are necessary to provide flex, GBSD, greatly complex, Russian and Chinese referendum, they inject having decisions, canceling these programs and send a strong signal to the anxious analysis of the U.S. is waving in its commitment, GBSD ensures continuation of a triad, I remain convinced that there's a credible alternative for research can support such a study by currently without GBSD, the U.S. would have significantly less leverage in arms control, canceling would be benefit over adversaries, and conventional weapons are too small and risk-free to credibly deter Russia. Chamberlain 16. NATO and after to deter Russia service requires it cannot credibly signal force, cannot signal high result the alliance is motivated to escalate force necessary to expel Russia from the Baltic. I have studied all crises that's when they receive our target doubts, the willingness of the resources to secure victory. The battalion is too easy to convince Russia, and the plan invites short-term conventional wars, local deterrence, and balances causing nuclear war. Act 17. Conventional superiority is unclear. Conventional deterrence depends on local violence. The villain and aggressor believes it can wage a quick war to seize territory and present without fatal conflict that would require bloody and prolonged campaign to reverse. And the Baltic Russia seizing native territory and expedition to the alliance taxes done for a campaign trying to achieve conventional superiority, but Washington have to rely on energy. Third off. The United States should 1. Deploy CPGS, 2. Propose cooperation with states capable of observing CPGS launch, including 1. Inspection of CPGS weapons to verify that their warheads are non-nuclear, 2. Authenticated surveillance of each CPGS weapon to demonstrate that following inspection of verified conventional warhead is not swapped out for another, and that in the event of a launch it's a non-nuclear weapon that has been used, and 3. Notification by the United States of any CPGS launch after BC 13. Cooperative measures that enable any state to gain confidence in nuclear weapon and not being used while the details or complexity conceptually different measures can be measured. 4th off, DIB to set. ICBMs are needed the defense industrial base in manufacturing guns are 18. Developing a new ICBM could revitalize the industrial base linked to the broader U.S. industry that develops and manufactures critical for ICBMs in the rocket industrial base, or just prompting any new design work in decades. There are chemicals, energetic materials, and critical subcomponents needed provided by a limited number of suppliers in the U.S. and strong manufacturing workforce is needed at effective power projection. Eagle 9. America's military strength remains vital to international stability. Manufacturing has allowed advanced weapons, securing dominance will require an industrial, highly skilled workforce. American military is capable of manufacturing skills. American military strength will benefit from a robust manufacturing workforce to a superior military to win wars. Core capabilities have been able to maintain the ability to direct power. 5th off. Counter-attack states to create nuclear hotlines between themselves. Nuclear hotlines solve territory alerts. 3018. Nuclear hotlines demonstrate draft behavior. Hotlines facilitate signaling and reduce risk. Hotlines superpowers communicate to the hotline during numerous crises. A direct voice between the White House and Kremlin still exists. American presidents call adversaries frequently during crises. Their very existence even trust trying to establish hotlines with Russia and the U.S. Case. Starting on CPGS. They don't solve warhead ambiguity. CPGS can be attached to SLBMs and SSBMs for some degree that's evidence specific to ICBMs, and if the right CPGS will expand beyond niche capabilities, the US will obviously have an incentive to create a variety of CPGS and intelligence capabilities shortfalls, blunt the effectiveness of CPGS. 116. Essential dependence on intel is the Achilles heel of CPGS. That decision making occur within an hour's place. The omnipresent demands and the intelligence community strike suddenly has to be based on powerful intel. The US does not yet have capability to meet intel demands of PGS, whether or not the missiles are nuclear or likely to remain opaque. Decision to launch CPGS is fraught with ambiguity and highly encrypted. Dangerous mistakes. That has a strong tendency to ignore information is inconsistent with desired consensus, and they don't solve prolif. Their evidence is about broader modernization, not just ICBMs, which means prolif is inevitable. And ICBMs wouldn't be, or CPGS wouldn't be used on Russia or China. Act in PC 13. Designing a nuclear freedom as opposed to Russia and China might be termed counter-nuclear whenever the Bush or Obama administrations have mentioned a specific target has almost invariably been North Korea or around. There's very little evidence that the U.S. is considering CBGS for strikes against Russian and Chinese nuclear forces, or that the spread has ever attracted significant governmental support as Chinese conventional forces that would be the targets, and no warhead ambiguity with China acting PhD-13. China has no early warning satellites, so it can deliver warning for warhead ambiguity to rise and don't solve hedge arms race and declared PhD-19. Higher spending is nothing to prevent from further advances by competitors. Such spending up with the U.S. at greater risk by inducing adversaries to accelerate their own offensive programs. It's very difficult to defend against. Accidents. This is just false. Daily and Maroney 15. Hair trigger is utterly ridiculous. The president is the only person authorized. The other president has a few minutes as a straw man. No one individual can launch. No one person has knowledge of all nuclear codes. No infractions ever compromise the public integrity of launch codes. While tensions are high, we're not facing anything approaching the competition that was the Cold War, and no accidents checks are built into the system. Keller 17. NCCS reaches enhanced deterrence and contribute to stability of procedures to prevent unauthorized external and inadvertent use of nuclear weapons are surrounded by safeguards. The ballistic missiles are aimed at the U.S. Sometimes longer in many scenarios. Assessment enable the president to consult with his advisors. Military members are bound to question illegal orders or those that do not come from the appropriate authority. And use or lose is empirically wrong, but if they win it, that just proves the term deterrence status true by making preemptive strikes against the U.S. rational. Lenoska and Scherer 18. User loser becomes the same problem in terms of assertions that nuclear weapons are unnecessary. If AFU lacks credibility, why would that same adversary feel pressure to user loser the weak state is choosing between likely annihilation if it does not attack a certain annihilation. If it does, the user loser is empirically very rare. Preemptive wars almost never happen. User loser pressures in this purely conventional world where nuclear doctors are absent the adversaries and to strike first for words of the US. Nuclear is not a few goes against arguments made by NFU advocates that nuclear weapons provide no tactical benefit. Nuclear weapons may be a moot point and zero risk of accidents. ICBMs increase system time twice at 17. The possibility of any accident, zero assault fuel is not the concerns over that American 1980 order was given to launch due to the comprehensiveness of training precisely executed discipline processes. No auto launch. The U.S. has no such policy. The entire deterrent is designed so no presidents promptly or inadvertently launch arms racing. It's a huge opportunity in the first range that CBGS is targeting all the countries. Russia would happens with their survival second strikes with their arm race more. They have zero scenario for miscalculated evidence as it's possible and doesn't say it's likely coming or out and occur and occurring 18. Most of this information is driven by mixed factors. Not Washington was in time developing a nuclear regardless of U.S. action when looking at Russia's current posture. Russia maintains nuclear capabilities. It'll be a cut at capabilities.
Okay, cool. Where in the cases does it say Russian expansionism?
What do you mean?
Where in the 1AC does it say like Russian expansionism?
What particular part of the answer are you referring to?
Russian nuke expansion. Like, why would it?
Arms racing. Your whole point was that ICBMs cause Russia to arms race more and develop more nukes. That's what you conceded to in 1AC cross.
Okay, cool. What is the DIB?
The defense industrial base. It's like the industry that is responsible for creating U.S. weapons.
Okay, why is like the DIB specifically key? Like, can you explain the?
Because that's the thing that makes U.S. weapons, and ICBMs are necessary for the DIB to continue being strong and continue manufacturing. So the strong manufacturing workforce. So the DIB, if we don't have a strong manufacturing workforce in the DIB, the U.S. is going to lose all its hedge. Because they're literally not going to have good enough weapons to compete with other top nations like China and Russia anymore.
Sure. So doesn't take care.
Conditional.
Okay.
But the planes are unconditional. If I go for the kind of plan, I'll go for the whole thing.
Okay. What are the warrants for like why CBGS can't deter?
What do you mean?
What are the warrants for why CBGS can't deter Russia?
Because ICBMs are key.
For what reason?
Because they're more powerful than CBGS.
Then why don't submarines solve?
What do you mean?
Why don't nuclear submarines solve that if it's just like a matter of it being a nuclear weapon?
Because no one trusts. It's not a matter of it being a nuclear weapon, it's the power of an ICBM. In comparison to a nuclear submarine, nuclear subs aren't. The nuclear
Is the
weapons.
evidence like comparative between ICBMs and SLBMs?
No, but that's the argument that we would make, that nuclear or ICBMs are more powerful, so that's why people would be more scared of them.
How do we explode limits? Like, if there's 9 countries and 3 lives for each country, that's like 27 Fs. That doesn't
What?
What?
No. So we're not talking about countries at all. Right now, we're just saying that you have there's 4 to 5 different types.
I know, like if there's 9 countries, there's like 3 subsets, and that's just like 27 Fs. Why is that bad?
No, it would be 9 factorial, 3 factorial, because it's all permutations. You could read any possible permutation of all of those. You're misinterpreting it. There's well over a million possible Fs under your interpretation.
Does the generic verb plural thing doesn't mean we don't get to spec a state?
We're saying in this instance it's only arsenals, not states. That hence the interpretation.
So it won't be. How does the hotline counterpart compete? Just through net benefit.
Any net benefit, and it solves the entirety of the act because it solves accidents.
Okay, cool. I'll take. I'll send out the doc.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. The order is T, case, the two counterplans in order, DIV decide, deterrence decide. Actually, no, deterrence before DIV.
So T case, then, wait, sorry, what's after case?
The CPGS counterplan, the hotlines counterplan,
Okay.
and then deterrence and DIV.
Is the doc sent?
Yeah.
I don't have it.
Let me send it.
I just got it. One sec.
On T counter-intervention, the affirmative may eliminate one of the nuclear arsenal, but the affirmative may not spec any permutation of countries that sells their offensive eliminate 3 nukes because that wasn't the whole other threat. That means 9 times 3 equals 27, half not like 2,000 or like a million or more. If we mean nuclear arsenals refers only to ICBMs around S-18. Nuclear arsenals is ICBM. We mean arsenal can refer to a single device PRFV-6. The term arsenals is loosely as includes the possibility of a single device. In context proves the echo 18 like United States and Russia possesses thousands of nuclear arsenals. We mean plastics in a vacuum. The plastics include arsenals, so the TR just a solid theory. As it refers only to the United States, so affix in terms of arsenals, key Commonwealth, Court of Pennsylvania, or the United States and current country, the court denied held that say refers to only one of the United States. And otherwise, specification we all need to do the logical parts of the resolution currently 11. You have to give your pets, but not every way is permitted. You may be under more specific requirements. For example, you have to give non-coincidence food and eliminate means materially reduced federal register 2000. term could be interpreted differently. A preferred first or intercostal makes out of different state specification is inevitable, but this is better for the app because the neck has generics that be clashing. Even the most radical anti-nuclear advocates of advocates for limited disarmament because nobody thinks it's feasible for every country to eliminate nukes are interpreted better for the night because utopia would win. Following Celsius said if you had unbeatable utopia gives them more graphic history. See no limits to which emotional limits self the advocate generic culture ridiculous high school newspaper random self the advocates author world text and no one writing articles of like a specific SOBMs in Israel. That's only 27 assets. It's USC topic that means it's nothing. And advantage areas is all grants to use for the night because early zoom should venture reading 6 months they would at least all decide the coming could be elimination and year after the use of the largest nuclear power ICBMs or core topic of university. If you don't remember the terrorists had that disclosures policy is the invaluable one stable for the round F user reasonably not overarching impact to T. We don't reject the resolution to interpret this word differently, only evaluate in our because we shouldn't be forced to defend rejecting resolutions if that's not what we did. And to be interpretations encourage us to crowd out use sufficiently firm to evaluate T office. They have to prove they have no ground, not just they don't have the ground they want. On case the case of ATUD, they completely dropped the warrant. It's a key internal link to hedge because posturing is a key internal link to US Germany. CBDS is key to fight back against ATUD because it's the fastest conventional weapon, and you can't nuke an ATUD structure because that would cause far too much damage. Even if you don't buy any of their case arguments, this completely outweighs because ATUD causes a loss of PDS in Germany, a complete collapse of the global liberal order. The CBDS can't be reattached to other things. CBDS can't be reattached to other things because nuclear SCBM warheads don't exist, so we completely solve for warhead ambiguity and Okay. On the check out of life, first condition that is what issue for us to bring to worlds that collapse or whatever coverage which is after the night you and gives more often at the end of the debate so reduces the classroom makes often less useful, which this is evidence after research against counterplans variances of voter because an axiom against the debate to bring company interest to produce the best ones whereas reasonability encourages next to line with more conduct. Reject the debaters is kicking the argument is basically just conduct and also on this counterplan perm do both it's double solvency for word ambiguity and will prove on the highlights counterplan but also cross by the condo and the net benefit and Purdue both of the net benefit is double solvency and miscap. Will prove case solves the disaster with doesn't link. First on determine the case star SSB and detect what have better launch protocol as users on here trigger learning to be launched with no advice to check in their scenario as we didn't believe the US at last will to respond. Limited nuclear weapon shift to CBS for providing more effective deterrent the plan's key to making deterrents effective. Access kind of forcing user loses mentality and warhead makes nuclear war inevitable and rational actors irrelevant. The plan's Goldilocks and shift for warheads to southern bottoms which are better deterrents due to undetectability and flexibility of bias seems worse. That's Talbot Patrol aside. I think returns is wrong best studies prove that it requires destabilizing BBC password to trigger war. That's the person world with fever has the best quantitative studies and goes back decades so it always let's go. 21st century deterrents are average cultural logic that doesn't account for volume threats when CBDS shift cause self-rotate to terrorists and hit vital targets needed enemy territory. On the DIB said skip the first card, DIB collapse revitalizes the allied cooperation terms in Germany Sylvan 2. An alliance wide system would benefit future newer NATO members which have little money and modern forced by traditional relations with eyes for the US extended its influence in the zone of peace and stability. The more integrated the DoD can become in the allied security and economic apparatus, the more effective will be in implementing policy.
Okay,
Do you want the clip version?
yeah, can you send a marked doc, please? Does this count as prep, sending a marked doc?
It's fine.
Okay. I'm not gonna prep. I'm so sleepy. Oh my god.
I was here for the round robins of this.
Oh my god.
I'm just tired because I had to go around putting up posters on the doors.
Brutal.
Because I go here. So I'm expected to like help.
Are you one of their minions?
Yes, I'm a Harvard Westlake dog bot. Clearly. Okay, here's the March version.
Thank you. Okay, starting quick. The only advantage you went for was A2AD, right? Okay. Kicked everything else. Alright. Cool. Were there any other independent reasons to reject the team other than conduct?
That's just not good.
No RVIs?
No.
Alrighty. It'll be, let's see, what am I picking? Hotline, it'll be the like CPGS reform counter plan, hotlines, T, condo, case, and what's left? DIB just said?
Yeah.
And deterrence just said on the top.
Okay.
Alright, hold on, let me find my flow so I can keep this in order. I said CPGS, hotlines, or deterrence on top. T. Okay, cool. I think
Where's
that's
case?
Sorry?
Is case?
Case is right after condo.
Okay.
One second, let me make sure I have the right docs open. I don't go and start reading the wrong thing. I've done that this tournament. Not my brightest moment. Right. Everyone good?
Yeah.
On the deterrence side, you can see the defense. We're not going for the reform counter the departments to test the competition. There's no other defense or other independent reasons to go for the AF. On the reform counter besides condo, we're not going for the hotlines counter the departments to test the competition. We're not going for that. But able to see this, we can see the counter inter, but we're not going for it. We all agree to reasonability. There's no voting issue there. Not go to condo. Look, at this point, literally the only possible out the 2AR has because they badly mishandled case is condo. As long as we reasonably win, that reasonability is good enough, which they did for us in the 1AR, it's game over for them. They dropped turns on case, they essentially dropped the DIB decide but for one card, and we'll show you as long as we win condo or some reasonable way, a reasonable link of reasonability, that means they lose because there's no way for them to get offense on condo. Conditionality is going when it's most logical to roll the next super the battle the actual group that they're optimal every counter plan. It's opposite an opportunity cost to win. Any limit on that is arbitrary. This also produces arbitrary for the scope is better than the counter plan. Second key to neg flex is that the turns is the remainder of the plan. Better than also multiple options ensures that the neg doesn't auto lose after the 1 AC because we need to be able to test the neg the after fosters advocacy skills and forces the have to prevent every single component of the plan allows rigorous testing and allows better information processing by enabling discussion on a litany of issues. Fourth is most real world policymakers attack and build from different angles and don't limit themselves to just one criticism. They can amend and change positions to find the best option. 5, it's using natural speed, card quality, coaching, and topic balances all make debate harder than proving that we structurally speed the debate any more than it already is because of the structural skews in debating them. 6, they reject the argument. Actually, no, skip number 6. New number 6, reasonability committee interpretations often spread out by letting minor infractions on the debate. Don't vote after we didn't make the debate impossible. We literally had 2 condo. It's an octa's bid distributing tournament. You don't deserve to win the round if you can't respond to 2 condo counterplans with that aren't even that hard to respond to. And then 8, don't vote on theory. The judge is a referee, not a norm setter. And voting in condo just causes teams to write longer, better blocks and doesn't set any real precedent. Additionally, there's no impact to norming because this is a round 5 and it's round 5. No one's ever going to look at this debate and be like, oh, they lost on condo. That's a norm that I'm going to follow and read all unconditional counterplans. Unconditional is never going to be a norm that's ever going to be set. Don't vote for them on norm setting. That's an absolutely horrendous impact on the 9. Internet, do-error persuasion aspects of books of the debate. The 2NR has to answer theory and substance. That makes it really easy for you to vote for us because they made our job essentially, they made our job really, really hard by forcing us to answer theory and so much depth and making us win on substance. Now, use reasonability. Cross-apply the reasons from the T-shell about why we get reasonability. You don't get to go and say you get reasonability on one shell and then immediately go and say competing interps is a better model debate. You're contradicting yourself. There's no reason that we don't get reasonability first. It's the only way to avoid substance strata and get back to the neutral debate. That's a key of the substance strata. That is key here because that's the only way to get topic education. We can get education on theory all throughout our debate careers. I have 4 years left. I don't know about you, but we have years and years to set theory norms. There's only 2 months to set the substance norms on this topic. And even if it's a TUC topic, sure, 6 months. That's nothing in comparison to the amount of time that we have to set theory norms. That means that it's really easy for you to not vote for them because reasonability is key so that we can avoid substance and actually get back to the substantive part of the debate now. More reasons for reasonability in a second. One, overpunching, otherwise you put on a tiny amount of abuse, which kills proportionality, which is literally the definition of unfairness. Now, they've literally got no responses to why reasonability is not good. They didn't make any preempts on the 1AR, which independently means that you should vote for me because they have nothing on reason. They have nothing against reasonability, but even if they do, I'm going to preempt arbitrary. They're going to say it's arbitrary, but 1, there's no way to determine at what point the benefit to one standard overwhelms the harm of another, which makes competing interps just as arbitrary. You can't quantify inconvenient interps. There's 2 units of abuse on ground versus 3 units of abuse on aft flex. The second, judge intuition is inevitable. Debaters will never fully resolve weighing. That's proven by split decisions in which the judges don't all have the same mindset. Judge intervention will always happen. Judge intervention always happens. The reason that's why arbitrary doesn't make sense. So recap on the condo higher level theory debate. Literally, we've proven condos better. We have 9 reasons why they have to go and respond to every single one of those and do weighing, which in itself is impossible. But on top of that, they made no justifications for why competing interms is better. Additionally, they contradicted themselves on the T-shell. They said reasonability, and then they said condo. On condo, they said use competing interms. Which is a contradiction in and of itself. So that makes it really easy for you to not vote for them. The only possible 2-way are out because of how badly they handled case was on condo. That essentially means game over. Now go to case. Case is badly mishandled in the 1 area. They dropped multiple turns that make it literally game over. The first turn is on the arms race advantage. It was an analytical turn which shows you that Russia will arms race more in their role. That was the direct double turn on their side against the first CBGS advantage. It was an analytical turn, but a turn nonetheless. Drop them for that because of their Russia arms race impact. Crossfly the Russia arms race impact, which makes it really easy for you to vote for us because they've obviously dropped an independent turn. As long as we win some risk of a Solvency deficit to their affirmative, to the advantage they go for, then we win. Now their advantage. They say they're going for A280, which is key to hedge, but they dropped the part about CBGS, literally not helping with hedge. That's a clear PG-19 card, which shows you that CBGS isn't going to help you with hedge. They dropped that card. They don't do any sort of weighing about which card is better. We obviously get to say that our card is better now. That's an independent reason to drop them on the substance debate because they can't solve for their impact. And there's a turn on case which they literally dropped. Additionally, no new 2-way or extrapolation. That's the only way they could possibly win. A point is clash because there's no way for us to clash because of logical 3 and R. And B point is that it's a judge intervention because we haven't been able to clash you, so you are not able to decide which argument is better, which leads you to have to decide on your own. Was the 2-way argument better than whatever against the 2 and R? And now the DIB decide. We're going for the DIB decide overview. Hegemony collapse causes extinction that creates power vacuums and breaks down our power to mediate conflict and deter challenges across the globe. Breakdown causes extinction on WMDs, YI weapons, and chemical weapons since the US can no longer exert influence through multilateralism and treaties. That turns case because it causes rearmament since other countries will pursue nukes if the nuclear umbrella goes away. Their only response is that DIB is low now, but it's recovering from downturn now. Policy stability and sustaining funds are crucial long-term investment. Green 19, for free trade ideology has dominated the DIB and policies led to consequences of this year's events depend on well compared to risk of decline. I'll send the card. I didn't anticipate reading it.
Okay, that's fine. I'll take 2 minutes.
Cool. I just sent it in the email body.
We're starting. Oof, soundtrack, my word just
Sorry?
My word just died.
Oh no. For real.
I'm gonna wait for it to. Okay, cool. I'll leave you a minute. Okay, the Orion's case and the DIB. Cool. Okay,
the turn was just analytical. This was the only offense this was the only offense other than just had studied in the NR. So you shouldn't classify other NRRs because you shouldn't classify other NRRs because that's unfair. If they didn't understand it, then they shouldn't get it. ICBMs are uniquely threatening to Russia because they were literally created during the Cold War specifically to target Russia, and that's the only reason the Russian arms raising happens. They say on the CPG doesn't help with hedge. They also don't do any weight on this. The 1Z and the NR. We have two cards that specifically say CPGS because they're very fast and they're conventional. It causes a lot of damage to nuke and AT-AT structure. So the only way for the US to have a timely response to overseas conflicts is to use CPGS to deter AT-AT. And this is we make a rendering because AT-AT is being developed right now, and it's key to and CPGS is key to check AT-AT and therefore revisionist powers such as China and Russia. On the DAB, they responded to the wrong card here. We made a link trend that says DAB collapse. DAB collapses. DAB collapse increases hedge because it revitalizes ally cooperation. An alliance-wide system benefits newer NATO members. Basically, the argument here is that DAB collapse causes an alliance-wide. It causes a shift to an alliance-wide DAB system, which benefits the Czech Republic, Hungary, and Poland, which are all very small countries that don't have any money to modernize their forces. This increases hedge because a mutual DIV strengthens relations with their allies and friends, and it extends its influence on the zone of peace and stability. And the card says that the more integrated the Department of Defense can become, the more effective it will be in implementing policy. This is offense for us because it's another strong internal link. It's another strong internal link to hedge that was completely cold conceded in the NR. It was completely conceded in the NR. So the DIV. So basically. And a quick overview, the case causes DIB collapse, which is good because it causes a shift to a NATO-wide, a NATO alliance-wide defense industrial base, which is key to hegemony because the U.S. can have a lot of influence over the new system, and that revitalizes allied cooperation because it gives them more strength and more ability to have influence over policies and this DIB. The only offense on case that they extended was the Russian case term, which we've explained that subs are completely survival and there's no technology, including CPS, that could take them out. They have no other offense on case that was extended in the 2NR. It's been way too long. I'm going to go down.
Oh, sorry. I'm zoning out today.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, I can't do it.
Plot twist.
Yeah.
Regard doesn't